All right, heroes, we are back with another video. Today, I'm really excited because we get to hang out with somebody who is very smart and someone who I think you're going to get a lot of value from today, Mr. Mike Sieben. Mike, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, Steven. How are you doing today?
Very well, thanks. And you're going to come on here and tell us a lot about Amazon Wholesale, specifically about how I was quite wrong about wholesale and that I used to do it many years ago. Like I told you before, myself and Robert did it. We made a lot of money doing it, but we made, I think, a lot of mistakes doing it as well. And so my hope was that we could jump on today, have you really show us where I was going wrong, how to do it the right way, and give us a bit of a whistle stop tour through how you can get more out of Amazon by actually adding in this wholesale element to your business. So I think the first thing to do before we get into how it works is to talk about how did you discover Amazon wholesale and how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually discovered Amazon Wholesale about 3 years ago. And so to give you a little bit of backstory prior, I have a background in engineering, so went to school for that. And then I decided that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to get something going for myself. So like many others, I started actually with online arbitrage via the drop shipping model. And so I was basically buying items from Walmart and eBay and things like that and then flipping them on Amazon. But what I realized is it wasn't very dependable. The income that you would make could be different from one week to the other, and you're always constantly searching for new items, and then there's price changes and stock outs and all of those types of things. So I said enough with it, and I decided to go out and get myself a mentor. And by doing so, they taught me the wholesale model that I know and love and practice today on a daily basis. So from there, the rest was history. So fast forward 3 years later, and about $1 million in total sales. We're creeping up on that here within the next month or two. And it's been an exciting journey. And for about a year now, I've been helping others as well, helping my students inside my program and doing some coaching. And they've had some great success as well. So I'm super happy to be here today, super excited, and I would love to share all about what wholesale is, how I do it, and how you can go about doing it for yourself as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'd be great. I think for me, one of the, I suppose, things that was holding me back with wholesale a little bit was I almost felt like it was a little bit like arbitrage and that it wasn't very dependable. But one of the things that you've shown me is that that's not entirely true. And what I really want to get to when we share our screens up now and jump into Amazon is number one, how does this model actually work? How do we make money doing it? And then we'll get into things like how is it actually dependable? If you have, say, a private label business to add it on, it's another dependable income stream. If you don't have a private label business, it's a great way to get started on Amazon on. So I think I want to touch on those points for sure. But I think a lot of people, I think we should jump over there now, Mike, and we should check out your screen and let's just see how this whole thing works.
So I'm literally just pulling up an Amazon.com blank canvas screen here. So primarily we do sell on the .com marketplace, but this is a business model that can be done on any of the Amazon marketplaces. So I'm going to show you and dive in a little bit and basically just show one of the 5 strategies that I teach people on how to actually find products and subsequently find the suppliers who are giving us those products, because that is the most important part, is finding the supplier that can give us the products so then we can in turn buy them in wholesale and sell them on Amazon. So the first strategy that I'm going to show you guys, I call the reverse search method. So we essentially start on Amazon, we find some brands, we find some products, and then we're gonna reverse, we're gonna go backwards, and then we're gonna go to Google and actually figure out some suppliers, where those suppliers are. We're gonna get in contact with them, and we're going to essentially source these very products that we're finding here today. I'm also gonna go through and show you a little bit about how the product research works, how to determine if a product is good to sell on Amazon versus bad to sell on Amazon. And then we'll have a little bit of discussion about how we can really take the risk out of this entire business. So while we're filming this, we're here in November, so we are right in the midst of Q4, and one of the most popular categories in Q4 is toys and games. So let's hop in, let's take a look. I'm just literally gonna click on toys and games. And so what you want to do is you want to apply some filters, right? So you want to be able to filter out all of the products that we're not necessarily interested in. So I'm going to show you a couple different filters that I use. So I'm just going to keep scrolling till we find some important ones. Average customer review. So this is really important for me as an Amazon seller, is I want products that are well reviewed and products that customers are happy with, obviously, right? We don't want to buy products that are going to give us problems or have lots of returns. So I'm going to turn that filter on. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to look at price. So we don't want the price to be too low on a product. So we want to put a minimum price on things. So I usually go about $15, just because the higher the price is, the more margin we could potentially make and the more is left on the table. And then we'll put a max price on this as well. When we're just starting out, we don't want to be buying products that are, hundreds of dollars. And I'm going to go ahead and click that through. Perfect. So here we are. It's populating a bunch of different products here for us. So we're just going to scroll through, and what we're going to be looking for and what we're doing with this is we're going to pick the low hanging fruit, right? So what I mean by that is we're going to pick brands that are household name brands, very easily recognizable brands, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to start opening up some tabs in the background. So Crayola right here. You see Crayola is obviously a really popular brand. And there's all kinds of different brands. Buffalo Games, that's a big toy and puzzle brand. We'll go ahead and take a look at that product. Star Wars, that's obviously a very large brand. We'll go ahead and take a look at that product. And really the purpose of this, we'll go ahead and check out page 2. The purpose of this exercise is to essentially find products that will give us some inspiration in terms of the brands that we're going to go ahead and source products for and from.
You're actually looking for bigger brands here, Mike, really, that are going to have a lot of options for us, right?
Exactly. We want to find big brands, and the whole idea with this is, again, coming back to the household names, the big box brands, because they're the ones that are capturing all of the sales. That's where we're going to source these products, and we're going to make a ton of money. It's not these products that are, these mom and pop type small brands. We want big brands so we can make big dollars. Lego, obviously that is huge. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. So we have a few of them open. So let's hop into the listings. Let's take a look at them and let's talk about some of the things that I'm thinking about and looking at when looking at products. So as you can see, we have this Crayola Model Magic item. And so something we want to look at is we want to look at the rank. And so what the rank is on Amazon is the best sellers rank. And so what you need to know for now is the lower the rank, the better the item is, or generally how quick the item sells, right? So in toys and games, it's just a general rule of thumb. We want to kind of stay under the 100,000 mark on toys and games. So as we can see, it displays right here in my software tool that we have a rank of 1,545. So that's a really awesome rank. So this is probably a pretty decent item for us to source. So I won't make it any more complicated than that. Let's go ahead and leave this item up, and then we're just going to go through and potentially disqualify a couple of these products if applicable. So next one, Buffalo Games, we see the rank is 6,765. So again, that's a really good rank.
Real quick, Mike, what's that tool called? People love to know what these tools are called. We can just briefly mention what they are. We're going to go into more detail another time, but just what is that?
Definitely. So this is a tool called RevSeller, and basically what it does is it's an Amazon profit research and data tool. So it's just a Chrome extension. You add this Chrome extension to your browser, and then you're able to effectively pull all of this data very quickly. As you can see, as soon as you open the page, you're able to look at things like your profit calculations. You're able to look at what the ASIN is, or the Amazon specific identifying number. You're able to look at the weight, the size, the UPC, all kinds of really awesome information. So this is a must-have tool in Wholesale because it just makes your life so much easier and quicker. So looking at this one, another thing to mention is we want to look at things in main categories. So remember, we were in toys and games. As you can see, this one is ranking in what's called Amazon Launchpad. So this is a kind of an Amazon specific category. So this is not in our parent category that we were looking for. So we're actually going to disqualify this one. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to move past this one. So go ahead and close that Star Wars. Take a look at this cranium. So rank 19,657. Awesome. And by the way, for you guys, if you guys don't have the tool Rev Seller, you can just scroll down on any single Amazon page. If you come down to the product information area, the bestseller rank is actually listed right here, 19,657. So that's just where they pull the rank from, and they just pull the data up in a nice, easy to find spot. So cranium, awesome. We recognize that name, we recognize that brand. 19,000 toys and games, love it. We're gonna keep going with that. Little Live Pets. So this is a brand that I recognize and is a household name for me, and that's what it's all about. Brands that you recognize, brands that could potentially do quite a few sales. So again, 22,000, that one's good as well. And then Lego, we all recognize Lego, that's a huge brand. And then again, it does meet our quick criteria of under 100,000 in toys and games. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at, very quickly, could we find some suppliers for these brands? So I'm gonna make it as simple as possible. We're literally just gonna hop in a new tab. We're gonna go to Google and we're gonna figure out if we can find some suppliers for these brands. So right now we are in the US market. So we're gonna look at US suppliers. And my approach for the US is really to break things out state by state because there are so many suppliers, right? So I'm gonna pick one of the bigger states. I'm gonna pick one at random. We do a lot of business in California, so I'm just gonna use California as an example, right? So if you remember, our first product was the Crayola product. So we're literally just going to go Crayola Distributors, California. And it's as easy as that, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and we're gonna look at a couple of indicators. So the more you do this, the better you will get at it, the quicker it will be. But what we're looking for is companies that look like they are not selling to the general public, that they're only selling to businesses. So words like distributor, wholesale, those types of words are going to be really powerful in what we're looking for. So as we go through, obviously Crayola.ca, that's their brand, that's their website. So we're going to scroll past that. But RCD Wholesale, so that has it right in the name. So again, we're just going to open up a tab. I'll get a couple of these going and we'll take a look at a couple of these. Medcare LLC, wholesale company, perfect. I like that. I'm using the word wholesale, so that's good. Crayola wholesale distributor, that one could be good as well. Bulk office supply, potentially doesn't hurt to open it, take a look at it, right? This is an Amazon.com page, so we won't look at that. And so what if I was doing this for myself and I was looking for suppliers, I would be going down in 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of Google. But for argument's sake and for the purposes of this video, let's take a look at a couple that we have open here and see if they're going to make sense for us, right? So as we're going through here, there's a couple of key things that we're going to be looking for, right? So this is RCD Wholesale, so the Right Choice Distributors. So again, wholesale, distributors, those are all awesome words. As you can see, free shipping on orders over $500. So those are all positive things, right? So what we're looking for here is we want to make sure that they are wholesale suppliers or wholesale distributors. We do not want retail stores. We don't want them selling it to us as an end customer. We want to buy these products in bulk, and we want to get discounts on these products so that we can resell them, right? So this looks like a really good supplier. So what I would do is record all of their information, and then what you're gonna do is actually reach out to them and just have a conversation. My name is Mike Sieben. I run XYZ Wholesale, whatever your company name is. I'm looking to open up an account with you. I see that you sell some Crayola products that I'm very interested in. Could you please send me a new account form? And then so you'd go through, you'd fill in all of your business and personal information, super straightforward info, and then they would give you access to all of their products. And you'd go through and you'd literally just do research on all of these different products to see if you can make money on them. see if you can make sales and how many sales. So we'll dive into that and take a little bit of a look just with an example product. And we're going to pretend that we have this list and we have this product, and we're going to actually see if products are worthwhile to buy. So that's the really cool thing about this, is we're going to take a look and we're going to be able to see how much money we can make. We can see how many products we're projected to sell or estimated to sell. And then we're going to see how the whole process works right here in this video. So this is a supplier that I would definitely keep in my back pocket. I would write them down. I would save their information and reach out to them later. And then I would go through and just subsequently look at all of the different tabs that I have open, because sometimes you get random tabs where things don't work out, and that's perfectly fine, right? So I would just go through all these tabs and look for all the indicators that I mentioned, reach out to all these companies and get them all open, right? Because one thing to remember about this is every supplier is going to have different products. They're going to have different prices. They're going to have different criteria for how much you have to order, all of these types of things, right? So if you're opening up accounts with as many of them as possible, you're giving yourself the best chance at success, right? So I would literally just do this with every single product and maybe get 5 to 10 different suppliers for each of these brands. So when we were looking at the Buffalo Games, I would go and I would Google, Buffalo Games distributors or wholesalers, California, or your state or your territory. It doesn't matter, as long as it's in the same market as you're wanting to sell on Amazon. And I would go through and just do all of these brands, but just for sake of time, let's stick with Crayola. Let's stick with, this brand or this supplier, the Right Choice Distributors. And let's go ahead and do some product research, and let's just use the product that we already had for Crayola, right? So the important things that you're gonna wanna get from your supplier, generally the UPC, and so on RevSeller, you can see the UPC right here, so you can match that item on Amazon. Make sure you're buying the right thing, looking at the right thing. You're gonna wanna get a price. Obviously, you need to know how much you can get this product for. Then once you know that, you just need a description. Make sure it's the right thing, right? You match the UPC up, and the description is a Crayola Magic Model or Model Magic White modeling clay. Make sure it's a 2-pound bucket. You're comparing apples to apples. And then you just jump on the Amazon page, and we're going to start doing some research. So we're going to look at a couple of key software tools. I won't go too in depth with it, but I'll show you the basic information you need and kind of how to calculate how much money you can make and what the potential actually is with this. So first thing we're going to look at is the rank. Obviously, remember this had a pretty low rank. It's a lot lower than 100,000. So that's a really positive thing. Next thing we're going to look at is something called a Keepa chart. So this Keepa chart gives you a ton of different data on all kinds of different products.
Hey, just jump down to the comments below and just let us know that you're enjoying today's video. Just give us more MORE. Type it in down the comments if you're enjoying this one, and give it a like on the way down. We'd really appreciate that, because so far I think it's been a great video, Mike. We're learning a lot about this wholesale model and how it works in really good detail. Obviously, down the line, we'll help you guys out in even more detail.
Awesome. So as we can see, we have the Keepa chart loaded up. And so Keepa is just a piece of data software. So again, it's just another Chrome extension. You add it to your browser and you're able to embed all of this data right on the page. So it makes it really simple and really easy for you. So we're going to have a couple of different tabs on, and we're going to look at a couple of different things, right? So we want Amazon tab on, we want new tab on, we want the used tab on, we want the sales rank tab on, and we want the buy box tab on. And so these seem like maybe daunting and quite a few different tabs, but this is very straightforward, this graph. So it gives you a ton of different information. So the Amazon tab is the orange. So wherever you see orange, that means Amazon is selling the product. And so sometimes this is a bad thing, because Amazon sometimes doesn't like to share and they like to hog all the sales for themselves. Sometimes it can be an okay thing, and you can look at certain instances where you do want to go up against Amazon, or it's worth it to go up against Amazon, right? So if you see a lot of orange here, that means Amazon is all over it and they're selling it, 100% of the time. But we're going to look at and see if that's still okay or not. Next thing you want is the sales rank. So as you can see, this is the sales rank, the same sales rank that we talked about before. So as time goes on, the sales rank will fluctuate up and down, depending on how the products are selling against other products in its category. And then the last important thing is going to be the buy box. So the buy box is the method in which we win sales on Amazon. So just very quick, if we scroll up, this is the buy box here. And what we want to do is learn to be in this buy box. So as we can see here, it says ships from Amazon, sold by Amazon. That means Amazon is currently in the buy box. So if we were selling this and we were in the buy box, it would say ships from Amazon because we want to send our products into Amazon and use the FBA model. And it would say sold by whatever your store name is, right? Mike's XYZ Wholesale or whatever the case may be. And then every single time someone clicks that add to cart button or that buy now button, you're actually winning that sale. You're getting that sale. That's how you're making your money, right? So if we just scroll through here, the first thing we really want to look at is, does Amazon share the buy box? Because if they don't, we're going to move on and we're not going to spend any more time. As we can see, we go through, Amazon does win it quite a bit, but as well, the buy box is shared by third parties. So as you can see, this instance on Monday, November 8th, the buy box was at $19.27 by a third party FBM seller. So that means Amazon does share the buy box, and we could potentially look at selling this product for ourselves, right? So what we want to learn from this is, does the sales rank stay somewhat consistent? It's not super wacky and all over the place, and it goes anywhere from low 2000s to high 4000s kind of on average. And as we remember, under 100,000 in this category is fantastic. So this is a really good rank and something we definitely want to look at a little bit deeper. And so next thing we're going to look at is, how many sales does this thing even make, right? So we're going to use another piece of software called AMZ Scout. So that's just another extension here. We're going to go ahead and open AMZ Scout, give it a sec to load up. And so what it's doing is scraping and pulling all of the data from this listing as we're pulling it up. And as well, it does us a favor and pulls very similar listings. So what we care about in this instance is the top one here. So as we can see, it is the Crayola Model Magic White. And so some information that we want to look at here is just make sure the rank's somewhat the same, price is somewhat the same, just to know it's the same product. But the other thing we want to look at here is the estimated sales. This is the important thing here, right? So 1,414 sales are made through this single listing. So this product is bought on average 1,400 times, and that equates to about $26,000 in revenue. So this one listing alone sells $26,000 a month. Obviously, we're not going to be able to capture all of those sales. We're going to be sharing with Amazon and maybe some other sellers, but we want to take a look at potentially how many sales we can capture for ourselves and what does that look like in terms of money and profit and all of that kind of stuff, right? So let's remember this 1,414 sales. And what we're going to do is we are going to hop on yet another piece of software. This entire business is run off of software, right? Other people are doing the work. Other people are pulling together all of the data, and we're just using the tools at our disposal to figure out if these products are good and if these products are worthwhile. So we're going to use another one called Online Seller Add-on. And by the way, all this information is available on this Amazon listing, but we use the software to pull it all together for us to make our life super simple. So what we like to do is, this piece of software essentially just tells us how many sellers are on the listing, what price they're selling things for, what type of sales that they're making, FBA versus FBM, and how much they have in stock. So this is a really powerful tool. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to only look at what our competitive sellers are. So only the competition that's roughly the same price and is selling the same method that we're selling, FBA, because Amazon prefers FBA sellers over FBM sellers who send products directly to customers. And we want to figure out what portion of these 1,414 sales that we can make for ourselves reasonably are, right? So as we can see, we have a Junipers, they're at $14.89 right now. We have Elm and Vine, they're at $15.52. We have Amazon, and then we have a bunch of others, right? So what we want to do is look for competitors that are very close in that gap, right? Because people who are priced at, you know, 22 or 26, $27, when there's someone priced at $14.89, what customer is going to choose that, right? And Amazon's algorithm is going to favor the person with the lowest prices because it's the best value for the customer. If you can offer it at the lowest price, the customer is way happier paying less, right? So competitive sellers, I would say, are anywhere from about 2 to 5% of the lowest price it's being offered for. So we see $14.89, we see $15.52, we see $15.57, we see $19.27. So that $19.27 is a pretty good gap from the lowest price at $14.89, right? All right, and so we want to consider these three sellers as our competition. So obviously, if we're purchasing this item, we're bringing this item onto Amazon on this listing, we would be the fourth seller, right? So any sales that we're doing, we want to divide by 4. So if you remember back to that 1,414 sales, I'm actually just going to do a little bit of math here. So 1,414 divided by 4, because 3 competitive, and then us is 353 sales. So we can expect to reasonably make about 353 sales if we were to sell this item on our own. So what does that mean in terms of dollars and cents, and how much money can we actually make of that? Well, gross revenue, we're going to take a look at just some estimated numbers. Obviously, prices change every single day. Prices are going to fluctuate. In wholesale, you want your prices to fluctuate. You want to be competitive. You want to capture sales by being the lowest price. So that's going to go up and down. But again, we're just going to do an estimated revenue and overall revenue. And so if we go $26,666 to get specific on our estimation, we divide it by the 4 competitive sellers, including ourselves. That is $6,666. So just with this product alone, we could do over $6,000 in sales. And the awesome thing about wholesale is that you can very easily and quickly source these items, and you get suppliers, when you open up accounts with them, they have hundreds or thousands of different items. So you can see how very, very quickly with just a few items, you're able to do 10, 20, 30, $100,000 in sales on a monthly basis with just a few different items and with very little upfront work. Next thing and thing that matters the most is obviously making money, because sales are well and good and fantastic to talk about, but at the end of the day, we care about making money. We want to make sure that we're making money so our business can grow and so that we can be very successful at doing this, right? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to use RevSeller. Again, there are other profit calculators out there, but let's use RevSeller. That's the tool that I love. And so this is a hypothetical because we don't have this account open yet, but let's just come up with a number and take a look at some profit calculations based on what we've done so far. So say that we were offered this item at $3.50, right? So basically what this does is it takes the sell price, and so that's the lowest price available. This price is actually going for $15.57 right now. So we can even rework that, which will make our numbers even a little bit nicer. So $15.57 at the end of the day will leave us with $6.48 if we didn't have any costs or anything, right? So what goes into that is basically your sell price, all of the different Amazon fees. They account for 1 month of storage. It takes us about a month to sell through all of our items. So all of that is calculated and upfront for you, so we can just very quickly see what type of money we're making. So let's just keep out the fact that we would have to do anything like ship this product around and stuff like that. Obviously that price can be different for everyone, so let's just go ahead and use that $3.50. These are just hypotheticals anyway at this point. Very realistic in terms of what you could get for pricing from a supplier on a product like this, but we don't have that in front of us, so we'll just take a look at $3.50. That would leave us with $2.98 left at the end of the day as profit. So that's a pretty good ROI of 85%. actually pretty insane, and an overall net margin of about 19%. So to give you an idea, our business runs at about 17 to 21 or 22%, depending on the month, net margin at the end of the day. So this product, it would be at this price right in the realm of what I'm looking for. And then let's do some math just for fun, some numbers, to see what that could actually equate to in terms of profit if this was our situation and our scenario, right? So if we remember back, we had about 350 sales. Again, these are estimates, so let's round it to 350, and we're going to multiply that by that $2.98 that we are looking at. So that leaves us with $1,043 as an overall net margin at the end of the day. So this one product in this given scenario could net us over $1,000 in profit every single month. This isn't per year, this isn't the lifetime of the product, this is per month. And so the awesome thing about wholesale is you're building relationships with these suppliers, you're opening up real accounts with these suppliers. Unlike the drop shipping online arbitrage method I talked about that I started out with, we're able to actually purchase this item again and again and again. So we make $1,000, next month when we buy this product. We make $1,000 the month after. So we're making $12,000 a year just with this one product that took us 15-20 minutes to find and set up. And so you can see how if you multiply that by all the different products available, how wholesale becomes really, really, really powerful, right? So I'll leave it at that for now. I hope that I've given you guys a really good rundown of the things that we're looking at when starting up a wholesale model. There's a few more things to it, but it really is this simple at the end of the day. It really is this easy to understand and comprehend. And then it's just about going out, getting suppliers, finding the products, and running the numbers, basically exactly how I just showed you today. Next, we wanted to talk about kind of de-risking the business and why this actually is a good, dependable, and long-term business. So Sieben, I'll invite you back on. I'm gonna go ahead and stop my screen share here, and let's have a little chat and let's talk about here what the opportunity with wholesale is and why this is a good long-term business. And hopefully by the end of this video, I've fully convinced you on why wholesale actually is a pretty good idea to get into.
Mike, thank you so much. That was a great rundown. I mean, unbelievably detailed. I think it shows us how the business model works. We saw a bit about suppliers. You really joined the dots together. So first of all, thanks a million. So the first thing is just to talk about, I just want to comment from my end and say that for anybody watching, Mike is using tools that are estimating sales and stuff like that. Obviously, when we get in, we'll see the reality when we bring stuff in and we get it selling and all of that. But from my perspective, the question I have for you, Mike, is how dependable is it going to be when we start working with these suppliers? Have you found that you work for them for a long period of time, or is it a very short period of time, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so unpacking a couple of things that you said there. Obviously, the first being, how dependable is it, right? At the end of the day, we want to work with suppliers that are long-term partners. We want to build relationships with these suppliers. These aren't just websites that we're purchasing off of. We're opening up accounts with these suppliers, and we actually get account reps. We talk to the owners of the company, the shippers of the company. So we're really a business to business, and we're here to make a long-term relationship and make that last. So to give you an idea, obviously not all the suppliers that we have we started with 3 years back, but we do have suppliers that we've had relationships with for over 2 years. We have products that we've sold for over a year's time with those suppliers. And obviously, as things cycle through and change, manufacturers stop making products, supply chain issues that we're inevitably going through with COVID, but those products get replaced with new products and updated products and products that sell better. So really, at the end of the day, it's about these long-term relationships. And then talking about the risk, you said, obviously, all of these tools are estimations. They're just aggregating data of things that have happened in the past. and projecting into the future. Nobody has the magic, crystal ball to know what's going to happen in the future. So how do we deal with that? How do we de-risk that? Well, essentially what we do, and because we're working with wholesale suppliers and distributors who can replenish these products for us, is we do what's called a test buy. So we come on there and we'll use the Crayola product for an example. We could sell 350 units of this thing. So, that sounds well and good and awesome. Would I go out and buy 350 units to keep myself up for a month's supply? No, I wouldn't. I would go out and I would buy, 48, maybe 60 units, and I'm going to use that as a test buy. I'm going to send that in, and at that price range, if we said we were at $3.50, we're at an overall investment of maybe a couple $100, right? So we spend a couple $100. We think we're going to sell 350. We sell 48 or 60. We send those in and we see what happens, right? If we know we can be up here and then we shoot for down here, and it goes in, it sells out within a week, boom, we know we found a good product. We see the data to say we've physically made this much money, or digitally, it's all online, made this much money, made this many sales, and then from there we're able to go back and reorder that 300 units and really see what the potential of the product is.
That's great. And I love about this business model that you can add into what you're already doing on private label, or you can start with this regardless of what you're doing. I think what you've proven here is that it's something you can get up and operational pretty quickly as well, which is a huge benefit to everybody in the Marketplace Superheroes community. And by the way, if you're watching this video and you're really enjoying it, jump down and type in the word more. I asked you for that earlier on. If you want to get more content around wholesale and stuff like that here with Mike, it's something that we're looking to do for the long term. So jump down below and type in more if you're loving this. But yeah, for me, it's a great addition to what we're doing. Where I was wrong about this was I wasn't thinking globally. I wasn't thinking on a bigger scale. And obviously, as we operate on a global scale at Marketplace Superheroes, with Superhero Freight, that's something we're going to be able to bring in here. That's going to be very new as well to this model. A lot of people focused on the US, like we talked about today. It's a great market, but we can go beyond that as well, which I'm really excited for. So yeah, we're looking to put on more of this kind of stuff in the future with Mike and do more together, because we want to help you go further with Amazon and make more with what you're already doing. So I hope you really enjoyed this one. For me, I think it's one of the best videos we've made in a long time. Unbelievable detail from you, Mike. So I just want to say thank you for putting in so much time and effort into this video. And I'm really looking forward to our upcoming training together we're going to do in 2022. I've let the cat out of the bag a little bit there. I won't say any more, but yeah, dude, really big thanks for me. And I look forward to doing more with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for sticking in all the way to the end of the video. Like Steven said, go type more down in the comments. But also, if you guys haven't already liked this video, you guys are not subscribed to the channel, what the heck are you doing? This content is going to be coming and it's going to be rolling through. You guys are only getting value from this. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for everyone that stuck all the way to the end, and we'll see you on the next one.